Hey, and welcome back to Day by Day with Evan. This is Evan, and this segment is on how important it is to be immersed in what you're learning. It is imperative, from what I've seen in my life, to truly be immersed in what you're learning. So whether that's being a real estate or being a doctor or being a construction worker, whatever that is, to be immersed means to literally live, sleep, and breathe what you're learning. If you're going 2 days in, 5 days out, you're going to have that time to learn other things, which is great. But if you think about a whole year of maybe 3 days off a month, every month, that's 36 days a year that you didn't do that one thing, you are so far ahead of what journey you're on, what path you are on to learning that skill. There's a average statistic of people that learn a new language, and this is, the average is probably based on people that have never spoken another language. But if you're immersed in a new culture in that region for six months to a year, you'll learn that language wherever you move to. Compared to being in school for that language, it'll take you anywhere from 2 to 3 years, depending on how intense the studies are. Now, when you take that and apply it to my experience in serving. So I'm a server and a bartender, and my first serving job, I told them that I served, but before that job, I didn't. And it was the confidence that I know I can learn how to do it. So I'm just going to do it. And I immersed myself in learning how to serve. And it took me probably a month to figure out a routine and to like really grasp what it means to serve. And 3 months in, I got promoted to a bartender. Never bartended in my life, but really learned how to do it, immersed myself again. And after 3 months, I got promoted to the bar lead. So of course you're going to excel in things that you're excited about or that you're just naturally built for. Like a D1 football player it'll probably take that person a year to learn how to paint or to to build homes or a school, but it probably took them a few months to be really great at football. My point is that was a long-winded way of saying that you're going to excel in what you're built for, and regardless of what you're built for, in order to learn it at an accelerated momentum, you need to be in it every day, and you need to want to be in it every day. And learning alone is one of the hardest things. That's why I'm doing this podcast. That's why I'm building the community, to let people know that they're not alone. And you don't have to learn alone. You don't have to fail alone. You don't have to win alone, but you can. And that's okay. But there's so much information out there, so many people like myself trying to build people up. And so if you just reach out, if you put aside your pride, which is something I still work on, and ask somebody for their help or for their knowledge, you will gain days, weeks, months of accelerated learning from that one piece of knowledge. I'm still learning how to put aside my pride. When I'm working as a server or bartender, when I'm investing, when I'm figuring out how to make a video on TikTok or putting together this podcast, in everything in life, I still actively have to like put my pride aside, go ask somebody their opinion, go ask somebody their experience, because I know that it's going to get me to that next stage faster. And it's not that I don't want to wait, it's that I know that I can learn at an accelerated rate. And so if I know that, then why wait? Back to when I was serving, I didn't wait for somebody to tell me how to do something. I just went and did it. But if I waited, or if I searched for somebody to tell me how to do it, I wouldn't have to take the 5 to 10 to 15 times that it took me to grasp the lesson. I would have grasped it and learned from it and excelled my process of understanding. Where I was serving first, as my first serving job, I learned that nothing is impossible to do if someone is doing it. You can do it. Nobody is more capable or less capable to do something. They might be built for it, but you can learn how to do it too. And sometimes we look at Instagram or look at TikTok and we're like, wow, they've done this one thing really well, and it looks like they're made for it because they get the recognition. But sometimes we don't take into consideration that this person has been doing it for years. So even the ones that aren't built for it take whatever time is meant for them to get to their goals. And the people that are built for it, it's not like they woke up a genius. Everything takes time. So it's funny, when I'm bartending, and now I bartend at a different spot, but this first bartending gig got me to a level where I can go anywhere and bartend. And so during the summer, this last summer, 2025, I worked 2 jobs. I was bartending and serving at one restaurant, and then, bartending at this other restaurant. And it allowed me, that first bartending job allowed me to balance two different menus, 2 different cocktail lists, and to socialize with 2 different communities of people, of regulars. And I just think it's really awesome that me putting myself through extended amount of time to where I worked maybe 5-6 days a week, and I learned so much about mixology and service and high-end service that now I can go work anywhere. And that's the equation and the answer put right in front of you. If you immerse yourself in whatever you're learning for 6 months to a year, you could take that knowledge and go anywhere you want. It might not be to the top of that industry or that niche, but at least you're able to go somewhere with it and and experience maybe a tad bit more than you did at your last experience or opportunity. Sorry, Got a frog in my throat. I also think that finding a mentor is something that I'm really struggling with, because I haven't taken the steps to figure out what I want to be mentored in. And now that I'm starting this podcast, I've been investing for the last 8 months. I know that I know that I need mentorship in those sectors of my life. And if I were to ask 5 years ago, Evan, what I wanted to be mentored in, it would have been all the things that later found out that I'm not I'm not excited about. I'm not doing it for free every day because I love it. No, like I was doing it because I wanted the recognition, the money, the fame, the people that come along with that world. When I dropped that and started to want to learn a skill like connecting people to knowledge that is sometimes unattainable for some people, I started to get excited. Started to get excited about knowledge that I really cared about, which was investing long term and understanding the world as a whole. Because when you start investing, or when you start to understand investing, you start to understand the world and what different parts of the world are doing that affect our economy, and what we do to affect the market of the world. It's fascinating to me. And what I did to learn about those two things is I started to just dig into what I love. Now, the places that I started to learn from them are probably not the best in terms of like the best sources of knowledge. I learned from YouTube, from books, from TikTok. When I went to college for music, I was so immersed for 2.5 years. I I put my mental stability, my physical health, my creative ability to the test for 2.5 years to 3 years, and I didn't stop. And I learned more about music, life, people, business than I would have ever learned from any type of schooling. That whole experience brought me to the understanding of immersion, and putting yourself in a place where there's no other choice but to learn it, apply it to life, and see how it works. It's an experiment. Once you take what you learn, you apply it to your life and then watch what it does. I guess that's why science teachers and chemists are, and the people that are actually into that type of stuff are fascinated with it, because you could see it in real time, like right in front of you. Whereas life is more of like a experiment with factors that aren't tangible sometimes, like ideas. Like my idea for this podcast is, yes, creative, and I'm thinking about it, but I'm putting it into words, I'm putting it into a video, into a social media platform, into a sound, and that part's physical. But to watch it impact somebody, I don't have that part of the experimentation yet. All I can read is your comments, your emails, your engagement, and that kind of gives me a gist of like how it's affecting people. One day, I want to be so immersed in this space that I'm selling out shows with 10,000 plus people to listen to me talk about knowledge that I'm excited about, habits and routines that help me gain my sense of peace back into my life for so long in my early 20s, and I'm still in my 20s. I'm 28, but my early 20s I was very lost. I didn't have a mentor because I didn't want one. And I was standing there in front of a brick wall, banging my head against it, thinking that I'd get through it. Damn near cracked my skull, as in, like, my whole life was falling apart when I broke through that brick wall. And then I found a 10-foot deep cement wall. I then realized that, okay, I needed a wrecking ball. I needed way more force, way more knowledge, way more integrity in my life to get me through this point that was a breaking point for me. The next stage was so far out of my atmosphere that I needed somebody to propel me towards them. And with every arrow, it needs to be pulled back to be shot forward. So, of course, I was at rock bottom. I was eating ramen out of plastic cups. I couldn't pay rent. My job wasn't paying enough. Music wasn't really going well. My friends were flaking and moving out of state. I wasn't in a healthy relationship. All the things were lining up to say, hey, I think you need to take a step back so that God can do his work. So while you're taking a step back, maybe learn from somebody that's been through what you're going through. And luckily, the universe brought me towards. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have been brought towards a mentor in my life, that two mentors in my life that um, that really changed the lens in my scope. They made it very clear and more visible for me to attack the problem and to progress in the places that I wasn't progressing. And that's hard. When you have a habit, when you have a routine that keeps you comfortable, it's hard to step out of it. But once you're given the knowledge to change that, but also to just let you know, like, hey, you don't need to do that. There's a better way. And this is like my version of, like, hey, I went through that for 7 years. Here's my version. Here's the knowledge. Once someone gives that to you and imparts that knowledge to you, man, take it and run. Because that's God, that's the universe reaching down to you with an open hand, and saying, I just want to help you. If you don't take my hand, that's on you. So many moments in my life that I was trying to learn something, or I was trying to excel in a space that I didn't know anything about. And I always thought, like, yeah, fake it till you make it. Do what you need to do to make it to the top, even if you don't know shit about the space or the niche. You'll quickly regret not learning the intricacies of that niche or whatever you're doing, because you'll get to the top. People will believe whatever you put on your face. But you'll get to the top, and then they'll ask you something that you don't know anything about. And that's where your pride shows, because then you're saying, no, I got here because I know that, but I just don't want to tell you, or I just don't have the time, or you say something that is not true, and everyone sees through it. So my words to you, my love to you, my knowledge to you is, when finding something that you love to do it with no regrets and no apologies towards how much time it'll take, because that speeds it up. If you're not worried about how much time it's going to take to learn this skill and you just go at it, it could take you 3 months. The longest, maybe 5 years. But that's the scales that are balanced between somebody that's immersed in what they're learning and what they love to do, and someone that's not. Someone that's not pushing every day to learn from a teacher, to learn from someone that's been in the field. There's always that movie with the rookie who comes into the picture, and then, he's amongst all the other rookies, and he's like, wow, they all see this veteran, this seasoned veteran coming walking through, and they're like, that's that guy that, like, he's carried uh the whole team through every obstacle. That guy knows everything. Then that rookie goes and talks to the veteran, and then he's all of a sudden 10 times better than anybody that he comes into contact to that's in his class. It shows you that, and movies tell a story, but they often relate to Muhammad Ali, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Travis Pastrana. There's so many people that didn't just do it on their own. They were built for it, but they had to learn from people that knew the ins and outs of how it feels like to do what they're learning in the field, on the court, in the classroom, in the office, wherever you are doing this new skill. Reach out to those people. Not to Kobe Bryant or Travis Pastrana or LeBron James. Can't do Kobe Bryant because he's dead. Bless up. But yeah, I think it's fascinating. And when I look back at life, I look back at the last 7 years of my life, which is not long, but it's long enough to reflect and understand. When applying what I understand now to the past 7 years, I get to a place where I'm like, wow, why didn't I just do that? You can't regret what you did or want to go back in time and turn back the dial, but it's good to reflect on what you did in the past. And instead of saying, man, why didn't I just do that? It's more of like what you need to do is more of like oh, so I wonder what would happen if I had done that. That'd be cool. So that's brought me to giving this knowledge and these experiences in my life to you guys, because I only wonder what my 21-year-old self would say if he had this video. I mean, of course, I think I would have read it and been like, I don't need a mentor, because that's just where I was in life. But now, if I was 21 with the mindset I had now, I would hear this and be like, oh, I should probably read a book about something that has to do with, bettering, to improving my my routines and my habits and my health, my mental and physical health. So through learning and being immersed and searching for mentors, and I'll dive into this deeper in another video, because I think that this is a really good topic, is understanding that there's financial health, mental health, physical health, social health, and environmental health. Social health has to do with like family, friends, intimate partners, business partners. Environmental health has to do with like, where you live, what your car looks like, what your house looks like, what your wallet, like how everything's organized, all the things that you use on a daily basis. Now, if what you're learning doesn't improve just a little bit of one of those things, I don't think you're learning it fast enough. Because being excited about something improves all facets of your life. Being excited about something that makes you feel good. And I talked about this in my episode before. How you feel is what you think, and what you think is what you emit to the universe, and what you emit to the universe is what you receive. So if this new skill, and now this is going off onto kind of a tangent, but if this new skill isn't like the learning of this new skill isn't bringing you a better feeling, then learn it faster. Take another day. Add one more day into the routine of learning that skill. You'll get more excited. You'll produce more serotonin. You'll have more things to say about that skill to your friends, to your family, to your partner. You'll read more books about it. You'll learn from other people. You'll find mentors. See what I'm saying? So when you plug into those facets of learning, you see the whole picture instead of one bit, one puzzle piece. And when you learn what that puzzle piece looks like to complete the picture, you could move on to the next skill and take the same puzzle piece, and most of the time it'll fit on another picture. So you'll always be able to learn. You'll always be able to excel in anything you do because you know what it takes to learn it. And that is the power of immersion. The second that you learn how to immerse yourself in a space, you'll be able to do it for 10 times longer with something 10 times harder. So break through that wall. You might need some help, but that's okay. Thanks for watching Day by Day, 1% Better.